Today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in Bunny Kingdom by none other than Richard Garfield, the inventor of Magic the Gathering, King of Tokyo, and a number of other fantastic games. Before I get to that, I have a little announcement. If you don't subscribe to this channel, I'm going to have a special chat next week, next Tuesday, for next Tuesday's video that you might be interested in. So I'd recommend subscribing. I'm going to have a 45-minute chat with Matt Leacock, the designer of Pandemic and some other wonderful cooperative games. We're specifically going to be talking about legacy game design, and we're going to go in depth. We're going to talk spoilers. It's going to be an open discussion about some of the challenges and solutions we found in designing legacy games. He was very involved in Pandemic Legacy and Pandemic Legacy Season 2, two games that I very much love, and I designed Charterstone. So that'll be a great discussion. It'll be a live chat next Tuesday, and so if you subscribe, I think YouTube will send you an alert when that video goes live. But today is all about Bunny Kingdom. And Bunny Kingdom is a delightful game about building your kingdom on this board of bunnies. You're spreading out, putting these bunnies on this board. It's kind of an area control game in that you're putting some bunnies down on this board, and there's a multiplicative mechanism where, based on the resources you produce in each fief that you control and the number of spires on these little tokens, so this is a 3-spire castle, determines how many points that you get each of the 4 rounds. And so one thing I really like about this game, it's not a mechanism, but I like games when in the first round you hardly score any points, and then you score more and more. And by the last round and the end game scoring phase, I was scoring like 40, 50 points compared to 2 points in the first round. So you really have this feeling of progression over the course of the game. And one of the clever ways it does that is by allowing you to connect your villages, your fiefs together. So I might have a few bunnies over here and a few bunnies down here, and if I draw the right cards, it's a drafting game, and draw and play the right cards, I can connect those villages, those fiefs, into something much bigger. Now the core of the game is drafting. And another little thing I like, I still haven't gotten to the main mechanism, but another little thing I like is that there's just one giant deck of cards. As much as I love Seven Wonders, you know, you have to divide up these decks of cards. You have to sort them at the end. You have to take some cards out at the beginning. I really like that you just have to shuffle this one big deck of cards, and any cards could come out. So that means you could draw some of like the end game scoring cards on your very first turn and plan your entire game around them. You also could draw them late in the game and not have as much time to plan, but by then you might have quite a kingdom built, and you might stumble upon a bunch of points. But the really cool thing about the draft is that you draft and immediately play 2 cards. So it's not just a single card draft, and what this does is it gives you a lot of interesting decisions and the ability to combo cards together. So you could just, like when you draft 2 cards, you could just play each card separately. I think that pretty much every card in the game is a legitimate card. We found some few cases where there was like a dead card, but I think we were just playing incorrectly the first time. I think if you play it correctly, every card is an active live card. And you can just play it by yourself. So if you play like an end of game card, you play it face down. Players know that you played an end game card, but they don't know what it is. You could play a construction site like this and get a construction started on one of these big buildings. Or you could play a specific place on the board. So this is C10. So this refers to the square on the board, the plot that's specific to C10. But one of the cool things about this, since you're playing 2 cards, you get to have a combo if you want. So I could play these 2 cards at the same time, and I could put this 2-spire castle on C10. Right away, you combo them together. It's a simple thing, but I really like this ability to combo 2 cards together all at once. Combos generally feel good in games. I always feel good when I play a combo. And so I like that this game enables those combos to be played while still having perfectly legitimate strategies around just drafting cards that maybe aren't related to one another, or at least aren't immediately related to one another. Because I might draft a card that is good later in the game. And also, I guess, tied to this drafting, you know which cards you're passing to the next player. So you kind of know if you pass something that you want or that you don't want them to have, they're going to get it. So you might want to take that card now. I really like that element of drafting in general. But the key is that the 2 cards, the combos that creates, really cool mechanism in drafting. If you have a favorite mechanism in Bunny Kingdom, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Or if you have a favorite drafting mechanism, I'd love to hear about that as well. Thanks.